King Charles just signed off on a decision that ended Queen Camilla's influence before the sun even rose, and the timing alone has left the palace terrified of what comes next. At exactly 6:53 a.m., while most of Britain was still wrapped in winter dark, a palace bulletin appeared without warning. One cold sentence: no ceremony, no soft landing. Reports claim Camilla's ceremonial and advisory role had been formally concluded, effective immediately. Phones lit up across the country. A silence followed that felt louder than panic, and what unsettled royal watchers most wasn't what the statement said. It was how long this had clearly been building. For months, insiders suggest Camilla's reach behind closed doors had been quietly expanding, not through public speeches or obvious power plays, but through subtle shifts. Guest lists adjusted, protocols rerouted, trusted palace staff suddenly bypassed. At first, it looked like protection of the king, but protection slowly turned into control, and the people who guard tradition for a living began to feel something was slipping out of alignment. The first real jolt came from Princess Anne during a quiet winter review at Windsor. An heirloom connected to Queen Elizabeth was reportedly missing from a key display. In its place sat a newer piece, approved through a private channel linked back to Camilla's office, and didn't raise her voice. She didn't cause a scene. She didn't need to. Those close by said her silence landed harder than fury. And from that moment on, every quiet change was being watched. Around the same time, something else shifted. Prince William began noticing a pattern in international coverage. Articles subtly reshaping Camilla as the stabilizing force of the monarchy. At first, he dismissed it as media spin, but then similar phrasing showed up inside internal briefings. That's when it turned personal to him. It felt dangerously familiar, like history trying to rewrite itself again, and this time, he wasn't going to stay quiet. The breaking point arrived during preparations for a winter remembrance honoring Queen Elizabeth. A draft program placed Camilla's moment before the late Queen's own symbolic tribute for Anne. This crossed a line. For William, it felt unforgivable. The adjustments, sources suggest, had not gone through official ceremonial channels at all. They had come through Camilla's private circle. That's when the word loyal circle reportedly entered the room and never left it. Late that same week, William and Anne took their concerns straight to the king. The meeting, held long after midnight, was tense and silent. Paper after paper, adjustment after adjustment, and then the unspoken truth finally landed. This wasn't about personality anymore. It was about hierarchy, legacy, stability, and king. Charles was being forced to choose between his crown and his wife. The final confrontation between Charles and Camilla wasn't explosive. It was worse than that. It was quiet in her private sitting room. She reportedly received the draft of the public announcement before dawn, a gentle tone, a brutal, meaning her authority was over. When Charles entered, the air was already broken. So this is how it ends, she whispered, and when he replied that the crown had to stabilize, something inside her reportedly collapsed, not in anger, in realization. By mid-morning, the machine moved fast. New chains of command, revised ceremonial orders. Staff instructed that Camilla would retain her title, but none of her former influence. One senior aide allegedly murmured that stripping power can be more devastating than stripping titles. And inside the palace corridors, a strange mixture spread: sympathy, guilt, and something many were ashamed to admit, relief. As the announcement rippled outward, reactions split sharply. BBC and Sky News called the move painful but necessary. Across the Atlantic, CNN and CBS framed it as a psychological collapse inside the monarchy. People rushed out a late-night profile retracing Camilla's entire rise and fall. For many Americans who lived through the Diana years, the echoes felt impossible to ignore. By nightfall, Buckingham Palace was silent again. Frost on the gates, lights dimmed behind tall windows. King Charles reportedly canceled his engagements and sat alone with the weight of what he had lie done for the first time in his reign. The crowd had drawn a line not between monarchy and public, but between monarchy and merit. And now, as winter tightens its grip, one truth lingers in the cold air around the palace. Power doesn't always disappear in scandal. Sometimes it fades in a single sentence at dawn, quietly, irreversibly, and the most dangerous moment in any rise is the instant someone forgets where the ladder truly rests.